Kal Haladi wa Kal Kabad, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and greeting and salutation to the brothers teaching and preaching the truth and in sincerity, and to the hopeful elect, Shalom. Pretty much this lesson is all about if you scanning through if you scanning through the screen right now, you probably notice this one word I'm circling around right now. That's what the lesson is about. Pretty much it's foolish people within the house of Israel. And what I mean the house of Israel, if you don't know, we're the Hebrew Israelites. If you don't know that by now, I'm not going to talk bad about you. I would assume that pretty much everybody know about us by now. Yeah, moving on, it's just a lot of foolish people within the house of Israel. Whether they know they're Israelites or whether they do not know that they're Israelites. The point is, they're foolish. To get into that, we're going to go to the first scripture. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 3. It says, yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. Pretty much, someone, as they go about their day-to-day life, and as you see them in their day-to-day life, you can see, hey man, you don't get all your screws up in your head. Pretty much like that. As far as you see with the 2/3, like if they walk around sagging, they fit the description. They walk around with a whole bunch of jewelry on, especially if they're in the hood. Yeah, you really look foolish because you look like a target. Somebody, really could come up off you carrying yourself like that. Another thing, because sometimes a lot of people like to hear a lot of bashing on the male. Let's get on the females for a moment. Females who carry themselves in provocative manner, not modest apparel. Nobody said you had to be all covered up like a Muslim. You can do that. That would be more righteous. Yet, you can carry yourself where somebody will respect you in the end. When a man approaches you, or even a piece of shit man approaches you, he would know to come with some type of class or something, because that's the way you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? You carry yourself like a prostitute. What else is a person to expect in the end? Even if you run your mouth and sit there and be like, well, I've been looking for a church home all these years, and I just think that you break down the scripture so well. Well, it doesn't matter after that, because one thing you gotta understand, in the back of a real man's mind, he really doesn't have any respect for you because of the way you carry yourself. Even the things that come out your mouth, it may sound good, yet in the end, it betrays you. It betrays you because your action and your presentation says something totally different from what's coming out of your mouth. So, same thing with a man. Let's go back to the fellas. Say for instance, you calling yourself a man. I'm gonna bring it back to this little proverb that some people know about. You know how they say, real talk. If you say real talk, I probably won't trust you. Or when somebody say, I'm real, keep on bragging that they're real. Usually 9 times out of 10, they come to prove themselves being fake. Well, what do you think the case is when it's obvious you're a male? You can carry yourself like a man, but you have to declare that you're a man. That's your wisdom failing you. Because the reason why everybody pretty much can see that after that. I mean, after you open your mouth, that's it. Everybody can see that. Oh, nah. I thought, but nah. Never mind. That's what you become. Yeah, in the house of Israel, we're going toward that. Have you ever paid attention to the other Israelite camps that go around looking bugged out, like the ones ISUPK, the ones dressed up in all black, or the ones wearing the studs and spikes and crazy shit like that? Yeah, Let's go back to the scriptures again. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 3. Yea also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. Because it's foolish, man. I mean, people gonna talk smack anyway because of garments, yet when you trying to go all out and we're not even in the kingdom yet, it's foolish. It's very foolish. You gotta understand this one thing. Yahushua has not came back yet and put everybody in subjection, like to put everybody under subjection to the point where it's pretty much manifested. It's being spiritually manifested, and only the spiritual can see it. Yet to be physically manifested, that time hasn't came yet. So to carry yourself like that and think that you're going to get put up on the chariot and be one of the elect, foolish. Foolish. Next scripture, Proverbs chapter 17 verse 12. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool and his folly. When you see 2/3, again, carry themselves, sagging pants, loud music, got their cell phones blurring with their, nigger music and shit. Yeah, it's better to, rob a bear of her cubs and then deal with the consequences after that than deal with a fool, because this is the reason why. A fool can probably have you, probably, because if you put yourself in that position, a fool can have you properly set up. A fool can do something stupid and get you caught up, legally caught up. A fool will do something in secret and carry himself around you like everything is cool because everything seems good with you, but he know all the trouble he got going on in his life, and then he'll come around you and then you get caught up in his mess. Just like the scripture said, let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. Because that's all a fool does, is live in folly. And let me chill out from saying the word fool, because I know a lot of people gonna be like, it said in Matthews, you're not supposed to call somebody a fool. So let me chill out on that, in case if there's those emotional people who feel like that. Bottom line is, that's a 2/3 aspect. As far as tapping back into the house of Israel, those in their folly, the doctrines, man. The doctrines. You going around calling Yahweh Hashem Yahushua a different name. That's folly. So therefore, let me bring this up. I ain't gonna put nobody name on blast yet. This is what I'm talking about. Rather than a fool in his folly, man. Say for instance you date an Israelite woman and she want to listen to Israelite music, and while you sitting there you like, oh my God, this shit is whack as hell. While you sitting there suffering through all that, right? Instead of dealing with your own thoughts and angry and upset that, okay, you gotta, listen to that BS. Yeah, here's another BS that comes with it. When you're listening to the songs, you're like, let me actually listen to what she actually listening to. Let me pay attention. You listen, and boom, you hear the song. They talking about, I don't even want to say the name, but the name is contrary to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You pretty much should know what I'm talking about when I say that. Matter of fact, just to make it plain so you can really get up to speed, the song had some lyrics in there where it's talking about Ahaya, and you get the point. After I said that name, you should get the point after that. When you come across people in Israel who's saying a different name other than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, stay away from them. Now, when they come in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, say for instance they speak or teach, because they might be a teacher, or they might just be some little fan who got a hold of the word and they want to go around evangelizing and stuff. So when they come in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, but they do not teach according to the doctrine, I'm put it point blank, to good sound doctrine will come from GMS. So therefore, if they're not teaching according to the doctrine of GMS, or if they're not from GMS, I'm sorry, you can't, you shouldn't listen to them. That's folly. The scriptures already tell you that the blind should lead the blind into a ditch, a pit. I mean, there it is. You're just gonna fall. The more and more you hear scriptures, the more and more you're gonna get offended, and the more and more you're just gonna come to the realization you just gotta fall out, because this ain't for you. So if you don't want to get in that position, stay the hell away from foolish people and their folly. Now moving on, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, going to start at verse 11. It's going to be kind of long. I'm sorry about that. I usually don't try to do long videos, and I really don't like to talk that much, so that's the reason why I don't like to do long videos. But let's move along. Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 11. It says, "Wisdom exalted her children, and laid hold of them to seek her. He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy." All these things should be pretty much common sense what I'm saying. Yet the point is, you're going to understand later on when I get to it. "He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory, and wheresoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets." Now this is the point that I'm talking about, getting to the point. After saying all that, pretty much what foolish people lack is wisdom. So when you seek wisdom, you're going to get tested, and when you get tested, you cannot faint. Of course you're going to faint a little bit, but I'm talking about faint as in fall out of the truth. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. When that demon come up on you trying to drag you out, you gotta rebuke that demon. You gotta rebuke that demon. And if that ain't enough, you gotta pray. If that ain't enough, you gotta fast. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. That demon ain't gonna leave you. As long as you're in this flesh, it's still gonna be here. It's gonna try to find some other clever way to try to sneak you up in the trap, so it could try to make you fall out. Yet the bottom line, that's what wisdom is going to do. It's going to test you, and it's going to see if you're worthy to be in the truth. If you're built for the truth, you're going to remain in the truth. You just got to know, you're going to get tested. It doesn't stop. It doesn't mean that, okay, dang, I went through that test, man, I'm straight now. Nah, buddy. No, buddy. You got to keep going. It's all about enduring. Now, this is the last verse to clear up the point. "But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin." Now, in case you don't understand that, remember the scripture where Yahushua said that what good is salt if it loses its saltiness? It's good for men. It's good to be tossed and for men to trample under the foot. That's it. That's your ruin. That's your ruin. You'll be handed back to whatever you was doing in the world, and you'll realize it's not going to make you happy. And you're going to realize it's because you heard the truth and you forsook the truth. And because you forsaken the truth, hey man, what's left for you? There's no love for you after that. So therefore you're always going to feel that void, and that void is never going to be filled, and you're always going to feel empty in vain, which is still empty, and you might do a suicide. Because Because really, there's nothing for you after that. Because you already know in the world there's nothing for you. So if you prove, just like the scripture said, but if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. You die by what you desire. Your desires is what's going to choke you up and kill you. And moving on to the last scripture, I'm going to jump around to this one. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 22, starting at verse 8. He that telleth a tale to a fool speaketh to one in a slumber. When he had told his tale, he would say, what is the matter? In case you don't understand that, where I'm going there with that, don't waste your time talking to a fool. Just like Salakia. This scripture right here, Proverbs chapter 17, verse 12. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. Going back to this, don't waste your time giving jewels to a fool. They're not going to listen. They're gonna sit there. Yeah, that's real. That's real. Shit. Yeah. No, hey, yo, check it, man. What you was talking about though? That's them. They're not paying attention to you. Or even if they not doing it to that point where it's so noticeable, it's going to be to the point like this. You could give them wisdom, or aka advice, and they will turn around and do the opposite of that. And then you'll remind them, didn't I tell you to do this? And they'll be like, man, I ain't know. Yeah, I ain't hear that, man. I ain't know. I mean, when did you say that, man? You would said it, man. You should have made that plain, man. You should just straight up said that. Nah, you just wasn't paying attention. Because why? You're foolish. Now, going to verse 11, but we're going to skip over verse 9 and 10. So, verse 11 of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 11. Weep for the dead, for he hath lost delight, and weep for the fool, for he wanted understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest, but the life for the fool is worse than death. 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead before a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life. That's a shame, and that's true. There's some people that just can't get right. So all the days of their life, that man. So like I'm saying, don't waste your time giving your jewels to a fool or a foolish person. But that's all the days of their life. They're just always going to be like that. And then until you wake up and realize they're always going to be like that, you're just going to look as stupid as them. Continuing on to verse 13. Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that hath no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. And that's true. That's all you're going to run to with a fool. They're going to tell you all the bad things happening to them. Whoa, it's me. They're going to tell you all that bad stuff, and you're just going to be drained at the end. But if you stop coming around them, you're going to have rest. You ain't going to be drained. Moving on. What is heavier than lead, and what is the name thereof but a fool? Simple. Sand and salt and a mass of iron is easier to bear than a man without understanding. And that's true. Truth is, man, if a person is lacking understanding, or some people interpret it as common sense, man, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, because it's something pretty much you don't want to put up with it. You don't want to put up with it. And if you love yourself and you love your life, and if you love your how about Shem, your how shy, you would do good unto yourself and restrain yourself from them, man. Straight up, man. Because 2/3, that's it, man. They're just always going to be like that, man. They really don't learn until it's like, when they, in their eyesight, when they get old. Like damn near pretty much 40 and 50, that's when they finally realize, when the doctor finally tells them, you have cancer, you have colon cancer. You have HIV. Yeah, that's them. Cause they're not gonna listen, man. And once you can learn to discern that a foolish person, once you can learn that, man, you'll be better off. Say for instance, if you just find yourself in a position where you like, yeah, you gotta talk to a group of foolish people, and only one of them is listening, then it's worthy to speak, because you could tell only one person out of those group of foolish people is really trying to hear you out. So it's worth it then. But when people are making fun of every word that's coming out of your mouth, or everything that's coming out your mouth, they got some perverted thing to say about it, like they twist up everything you say, you wasting your time, man. Might as well just walk away. Seriously. Pretty much, man, beware of the foolish people in the house of Israel. The heathens, man, they're just gonna be like that, period. Or they're gonna think they're smart and intelligent, period. Pride. Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about them in the first place. Unless you testing the spirit to try the spirit to see if they of the spirit. Yeah, you could do that. I'm not gonna say you wasting your time, yet you can do that. Yeah. Because there is a confusion of faces, yeah. Be quite honest, like I'm saying, if a person showed themselves to be foolish, stop wasting your time. That's all I'm saying. So I hope you was edified. If not, I'm sorry about that. Other than that, Kal Halad wa Kal Kabad Yahweh Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and greeting and salutation to the brothers teaching and preaching the truth in truth and in sincerity, and to the hopeful elect. Shalom.